Say hello to Chiwaniso Luzulo. She lives down in Houston, outside of Houston, and she's got the whole flooding thing figured out. We're going to see her video in a minute. She posted on Facebook how she's waiting for someone to rescue her because she, like millions of other people, are kind of stuck in the flood. Anyway, Chiwaniso Luzulo's got it all figured out. She said that the only people getting rescued in Houston are white people, and that's because white people, especially the state, hate black people, and they've been doing this for a long time, and that's why no one's coming to rescue her. And they rescued all of her white neighbors, and they forgot all about her husband, and her goats. Well, she got rescued. She eventually did get rescued recently. But good old Chiwaniso Luzulo is not just your average everyday bigot. She's one of the muckety mucks in a group called the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement in Pudum, and that's an international socialist, air quotes, organization. So she spends a lot of time traveling the world, talking to people about capitalism, talking to people about how all the wealth of America comes from Africa to this day. She spends the world talking about how Africa used to be a place of great civilizations. You know, you've heard that line before, the pyramids, this, that. The white people came down and stole it all. But what they had there before was really, really cool. And it probably looked something like this. Punchline to that funny movie is that the idea for the movie coming to America originated with Art Buchwald. He's dead now, but he was in his day, he was a very famous comedy writer, newspaper columnist for the Washington Post. So after the movie came out, he and his producer partner sued the studio and won $900,000 because they basically stole his idea. Cultural appropriation, that's a no-no. Anyway, let's get to that chick, Chiwaniso Luzulo. Let's see her break it down for us about Houston.
Yeah, that's the idea, to remain safe. But really in situations like this, like, it really is a clear indicator that how much the people need to be organized, because that's really what this has revealed for me. Because even living in this neighborhood where you have email chains going out, and I live in a neighborhood that's mostly Europeans, white people, white Americans, so seeing like this email chain go out, how they've organized themselves to be able to help one another, but not really too much anybody else in the neighborhood who's not already a part of their community. So it really just shows like the need for us to organize ourselves, and the need that we have as African people to have our own kind of plans and our own resources and our own boats to be able to evacuate our own people, because the state is just, it's increasingly obviously they don't care. From seeing Katrina with people on the roof to even now having the same situation where people are being told to wait on their roof indefinitely because you're not given the time frame how long you're going to be up there. So it's kind of like just waiting and watching the water rise while you watch other people get rescued. Like I was talking to our international president earlier, and it's a horrifying feeling. It's unimaginable to sit here and just watch water rise around you and to see people being rescued, or to hear, because I haven't seen any efforts or any relief. But to be in an email chain and to see certain people are responding and saying, you know, we're safe, we got out, and these are my neighbors. So it's just really interesting seeing this process of how the state organizes, and even within that organization, there's no room for African people. There's no room for us to escape. There's no room for us to survive. When it comes to African people and disasters like this, it's really just left up to us to try to figure this out. And I really just appreciate the African People's Socialist Party and Impedom for really being such a staple right now and keeping us grounded and offering us support and help, because really that organization and the few people on social media who have seen the videos have been the only source of support or help we've had. We've had to take to social media because we can't get through on any numbers, and nobody is really trying to come rescue. When you call, it's getting to the point where they're getting rude. One of my comrades was told yesterday that they couldn't help. She asked them who were we supposed to call in an emergency situation, and they told her that she needs to call Jesus. Well, I checked his live feeds, and they've been calling Jesus for the past 3 days. I think he might have bad service in his weather, because he's not coming. So we need some boats, and we need some Africans who can organize, and we can try to get ahead of things like this, because, again, the state does not care.
I don't know how Chiwaniso Luzulo could forget that the black mayor of Houston told everybody not to evacuate Houston despite what the white governor said, because he knew better, and it was probably some kind of plot that I'm not privy to. But as crazy as that woman is, as bigoted as she is, the point of these videos that we do here is that she's not an outlier. This black mistrust of white people that is also expressed in the Houston mayor vis-a-vis the governor of Texas, this is now mainstream. This is something we can see when we turn on C-SPAN, when we turn on MSNBC, when we turn on CNN, CBS, ABC, you know what I'm talking about, Washington Post, New York Times. This is mainstream, easy to find. Why don't we give a listen to what one of the more popular talking heads on MSNBC and all the other media outlets, why don't we give a listen to what he said just a day or two ago about Donald Trump.
Now, let's be real. We ain't said much about it today, but we know part of the problem going on now is because one guy in office hated the guy who came before him. You just mad a Negro was in charge. The anti-blackness that we see manifest with lethal ferocity and troubling reality is mirrored in the fact that he just hate the fact that a black man was in charge. Smarter than you.
Meanwhile, up in New York City, another subway attack. These subway attacks are occurring with increasing regularity. The perpetrator is almost always black. The victims seldom are. So this 84-year-old white dude got attacked by a black person because, well, whatever else the black guy's faults are in this life, being dishonest is not one of them, because he beat the hell out of this 84-year-old dude, and he said he did it because he hates white people. And I guess pretty soon the national media is going to get around to the fact that we just caught a black guy, a suspected serial killer in Kansas City. He went around hunting old white dudes on hiking and biking trails, the same kind of violence we've documented here hundreds and hundreds of times, not often ending in murder, but often ending in violence and threats and harassment and assault. So maybe the big shots, that when they're done their Houston coverage, they'll get around to this incredible case of black on white violence, black on white crime, black on white criminality, so wildly out of proportion, black on white hostility, so easy to find, but so difficult to point out, because none of those people want to make the black kids angry.